Trade recap number 4. So boom, this is market open on Monday. Today's Wednesday. We have been bearish, downtrendy the whole time basically. Right here, we're forming lower highs, lower lows, etc. until this change of character right here basically. And well, like here we're just consolidating, but basically the major confluences I marked out on the higher time frames are these equal highs, which mean and plus the buy side liquidity. Now the equal high don't really tell me anything. This buy side liquidity does tell me something, but pair them together and the buy side liquidity becomes stronger, because not only do we have buy side liquidity sitting at this level but also at this level. So this whole like area here is full of like liquidity basically. Any stop losses, entries, whatever, like any liquidity, any form of liquidity, a lot of it is sitting up here. It's basically why I marked this out. My order just got filled, but we ignored that. So we have a bearish fair value gap on the 1 hour here as well, which is also a major confluence, which we will see it does get confirmed. Anyways, those are the only two major ones: buy side liquidity and bearish fair value gap. Now we move down on the 5-minute time frame, and basically I'll show you an entry which I did have but I didn't take. So right here we were moving down, down, and then I had a change of character right here marked out. So this was a change of character, and I was basically waiting for this to like move higher, sweep this buy side liquidity. Actually, I think I marked out this buy side liquidity. No, I didn't. I marked out a sort of major buys. I don't remember. I think I marked it out in the 1 minute. Anyways, the buy side liquidity was lying roughly around here, right? And because it didn't sweep that buy side liquidity, if liquidity does not get swept, I do not enter. That is a main confluence of mine. So as buy side liquidity was not swept, I didn't enter. So anyways, I also had other confluences which I didn't enter for example, equal highs right here. Equal highs. If there's equal highs, it's likely to go in the opposite direction, which it did. So we have that. We have inverse fair value gap right here. I didn't enter. I could have actually, I think I did enter this. I'm not gonna lie. I think I entered a short. I might be wrong. I am wrong. Well, I could have entered a short, but I'm very inconsistent with my trading. So sometimes I miss out on easy trades like that because I just don't look at charts all day. Anyways, so there I had a potential trade which I could have taken, but I didn't for some reason. Anyways, doesn't fucking matter. Holy shit, what did I just do? Alright. Anyways, what else do we have? So apart from that trade that I missed out on, but I could have gained, like whatever. Then out of nowhere, price literally tapped into this 30-minute fair value gap, spiked up all this way, swept this buy side liquidity, which I marked out, which was my major confluence. And because of that, let me turn this shit off. Because of this sweep of liquidity, I was thinking it was going to go higher. Then I realized my other confluence of the bearish fair value gap. So instead of entering, I was patient. I wanted to see what price would do once it enters this bearish fair value gap. So it doesn't even enter. It wicks into it and it just hard rejects off it. And I was actually watching a video on trading today about this, and it was like fast pullbacks, slow pullbacks, and I saw this as a fast pullback on the 5 minute. There was no like sort of not a consolidation, but like it didn't go like this, right? It was just straight bearish, which means that because of all the liquidity grabbed, the market was so strong that it didn't even have time to register the buy orders, which is why there's so many buy orders sitting here, which is why I entered this position currently, because I mean I didn't drag it out, but there are so many buy orders still resting here from all of this and all of this movement which did not get filled, which is why inverse fair value gaps exist. Anyways, it's a bit of a rant right there, but my entry was basically this 5-minute inverse fair value gap. So I had this 1 minute marked out. I saw what happened. It just broke through super easily. Then I'm pretty sure I entered actually in the middle. Yeah, I entered in the middle of this because I was like, I don't want to enter on a 1 minute inverse fair value gap. But this was too late of an entry for me. So I just took like the middle. So it still broke through this, but yeah, I basically entered right here. Actually, I'll show you. Yeah, I entered like down here, and I sold here, and this was a mistake. I think I don't. Oh, what? Yeah, this was a mistake trade. Anyways, yeah. So I took this trade and I made like 150. No, I made 200 off it, I think. Something like that. Yeah, I made 200 off it. I went for a 1RR. So I did my Fibonacci trick. So I did like something. I went to here. And this is when it started pulling back. So I was like, I'm happy with this take profit. But as you can see, I could have went for the -2. But sometimes, you're just happy in life with what you got. So I took that trade. I was happy with it. And yeah, I'm actually seeing that this bearish fair value gap might fuck up my trade. I don't know why I didn't pull that across. Anyways, that's basically trade recap done. And what I always do is on these entries, I did a trailing stop loss, and what I do is I just trail it with inverse fair value gaps, basically. Because after so say there was an inverse fair value gap here, right? It breaks through this, my stop loss would be here, because that means it's rejecting this inverse fair value gap and taking it as a fair value gap. So I kind of trail it with the inverse fair value gap. It doesn't really make sense, but to me it does. So yeah, that was basically my confluences summed up and my approach to this. And the reason I took this trade, you know what? I'm gonna do this as well in one video. The reason why I took this trade was because this is not straight. Was because quite a lot of things. So we have, these are not straight because I did them all on my phone, but we have equal lows here. First of all, equal lows here. We have a break through this twice actually. So we broke through this sell side liquidity twice. Grab this. So we grabbed all this liquidity from down here, and I had this inverse fair value gap marked out. Didn't want to enter though because there was not enough confluence, just liquidity and an inverse fair value gap. So what I wanted to do is wait for more confirmation. I have this 30-minute fair value gap. I have this inverse fair value gap on the 5-minute. This is marked out as my change of character. And then we have, if I extend this along, we have this whole fair value gap on the 30-minute. So, which has not been completely filled. I mean, this is probably the reason for a big move here, but it goes until all the way up here. So this is not a bad trade. I wouldn't consider this a bad trade. I don't think it will miss. I'm pretty confident in this trade actually. I think it's just gonna, it's not gonna rocket up, but it's just gonna kind of do this, and I put my take profit just below the bearish fair value gap. But what I will most probably do, depending on how fast it moves up, if this is a like overnight thing and it doesn't really get close, then I'll just leave it, my take profit at that. But if this rockets up to this point like it did here, then I'm gonna do a trailing stop loss and basically move this to a -2, and yeah, something like that. Or I'll mark out like something further up here. Maybe we have buy side liquidity resting here, so maybe it wants to grab this liquidity or this one, you know, something along the lines of that. But I don't need to worry about that yet because I'm nowhere near my take profit. But as you can see, it's going in my direction, the trade. So yeah, I'm gonna end the video here. Hopefully that made sense for the most part. I need to work on my explanation and my charts because my charts are very ugly. But yeah, I mean, I'm still learning. I'm still progressing. So each video will hopefully become better. And I actually fixed my monitor because the black screens popped up and shit. But I fixed that now. So yeah, expect more high quality videos. Yeah.